cannot attend the training sessions also have the opportunity to watch the sessions back. We will save the recordings to a secure and private YouTube account so that only you with the email and the password can access then the videos. And that also gives yourselves and boundaryless, if you like, a backlog of good training materials that you can use again and again. And because sometimes we rush through everything in the 1 hour, sometimes it's good to watch it back anyway and pick up those materials. So that's a little bit about the program. Today, we're going to do Agile and dive into Agile. Normally, this particular training that we're going to give in the next slide of 45 minutes, I normally literally do in an 8-hour, 1-day session. So we're going to go through it fast and furious. So please participate fully, stay awake, ask questions, answer questions, participate as we actually have a kind of a practice simulation to walk through for the actual Agile application. So we'll actively be working as a little business and we'll run a couple of Agile sprints during that session. But before we dive into that, what I would love to do is to get to know you a little bit better. And I don't know also how well you know each other as well. I'll just bring Cameron in. Welcome, welcome, Cameron. We're deep into getting started. So I'd love to get to know each of you a little bit better, but we'll do this very quickly. If you could just very simply say your name, what project you're working on, and what location you're in, and we'll do a very quick round the room. So literally, you know, I'm Mark Hookey. I'm working on a transformation project, and I'm based in Switzerland. Simple as that. And we'll go in alphabetical order then down the team's participation list. We'll try and do it relatively quickly. So we'll start with Aniette. Please, Aniette.
Hi, I'm based in Luton, but I work for Morgan Stanley in Canary Wharf in London, and I work in the finance innovation team. Work in terms of the kind of technology I'm using is Ultrix, Power BI, and Tableau.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Aniette. Who's next up? Azim.
Hi, I'm Azim. I work as a Power Platform architect and developer. I've got obviously a contract with Capita, but in Boundaryless, I'll be working as the Power Platform lead, practice lead, and I'm based in the UK.
Excellent. Thank you, Azim. Bavia, and apologies if I mispronounce your names. I will pick it up as we go along. Bavia.
Yeah, you pronounced it correctly, so I'm happy for that. Thank you. Hi all, I'm Bhavya and I'm located at London and I'm working for Citi. I'm in the data analytics teams working on Python and yeah, different other technologies. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Divyani.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Which one of us did you work?
Hi,
Go
Dhani.
ahead.
Okay, so let me go first, team. Hello, everyone. Myself, Devyani. I am based from India, and currently I am working as RPA business analyst for PDO Oman.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhwani, over to you.
So I'm Dhwani, or you can call me Devani if it's difficult to pronounce. And I'm also based in London. I'm working on a digital transformation program in the same team as Anaya.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Florent.
Hi, so I'm Florent. I'm based in Poland. I'm finishing my assignment now with Groupama and Kairos and waiting for a new assignment. I am dev lead for Europe around UiPath.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Frank.
Hi, I'm Frank and I'm based in France. I'm working as intelligent automation developer on a tool like UiPath, Power Automate, and LeapWork. So for the moment, I'm working for an assignment, and in parallel, I'm working on transforming financial. teams.
Thank you very much. Gary.
Hi there. My name is Gary Atwell. I'm working with Citibank as well, like Bhavya, and the data analytics team, and we are currently working on technologies like Python, KNIME, Power BI, Tableau, and many others.
Excellent. Thank you. Here we go next. Cameron.
Hi, I'm Kamran, based in London. I'm working for the Gresham on a project of reconciliations, and yep, and building controls and looking out the CTC. That's what I'll do.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Cameron. Milosh.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
I'm Miloš. I'm from Serbia. I'm a junior RPA developer, and I'm learning, and I'll be working on the two platforms, Microsoft Power Platform and UiPath Studio.
Excellent. Very good. Samya.
Hi all, I am Soumya. I am based in London. I work as a business analyst for the issue management team at Morgan Stanley.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And finally, I think we have Vertika.
Yeah, hi all. This is Vertika here. I am from India and I am working as UiPath automation tester in OLX.
Excellent. Thank you very much for running through that. Great to meet you all. Wonderful to hear your experience across the board. Everything from intelligent automation, UiPath, Microsoft platform, all of the robotics and intelligence work that you're doing. I mean, it is one of the industries that is growing so rapidly and having so much more greater impact. I know robotics has been around for about 15 years now, but I think only in the last couple of years is it really starting to have a much greater impact and really having significant benefits within businesses in the last couple of years with the latest tools that have come along, and the skills then to be able to convert business problems and business inefficiencies then into automated solutions that then become highly efficient, highly more effective from a quality perspective as well. So I'm really pleased to be able to support you in this very small way and introduce you to a few topics. So the first topic then is Agile, and we'll dive straight into it. I'm going to put a link in the chat. That will take you to a Klaxoon whiteboard. It's an open whiteboard. We'll be using like a Klaxoon whiteboard throughout these training sessions because we're going to make it very practical. We're going to get into the doing a lot. So please click on the link. That will take you to a Klaxoon whiteboard. It's actually the same Klaxoon whiteboard that we used when we did our kind of workshop to define the program. So go ahead and see if you can link then straight onto the Klaxoon. I will also present as well so that you can see it. And I'll give you a very brief tour around Klaxoon because we'll be using it a lot. Then it'd be good to get to know. So if anybody has a problem getting onto Klaxoon, please do let me know. You can also get onto it on another device like your phone or an iPad or something like that. And you can keep working on your computer. So Klaxoon's very simple. You can put lots of post-it notes on there. You can do all kinds of things on it, just like an open whiteboard. I give you a quick tour around to the top right-hand corner. You'll see a bit of a gray.
Mark.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it says the board quota reached, so I can't do it. So should I actually open an account?
Say that again, if you could.
So it says when I log into it, it says the board quota reached and the maximum participant for the board has reached. So I'm not able to actually, go into that link.
That's.
Yeah, I have the same.
Yes.
You have the same.
The maximum number of participants for the board has been reached.
Board quota reached. Oh, that's a pain, isn't it?
Yeah, I've sent a snippet of the actual error in the chat as well. If you want to
I've
look at
seen
it.
it. Yeah, thanks very much for that. Now that is going to be a problem, isn't it? Who has managed to get on? Have we managed to get a few people in?
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in as well.
We're in.
I'm in as well.
See if it works.
I am also able to log in. Yes, I'm in.
We've got a few people in. It's not going to be much fun if we can't get everybody in. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see if I can sort something quickly out.
It says it's up to 15 participants on their website, but it's way less than 15. So
exactly.
I don't understand that.
That's why I thought it would be relatively simple. Okay, give me a couple another seconds quickly. So while I am trying to open up the board for more participants, here's your first question to contemplate. What do you know about Agile? And once we got the whiteboard up, for those that you are already on the whiteboard, you can go ahead and put some post-it notes on the whiteboard in the big box that says, what do you already know about Agile? But for those of you who are not on the whiteboard yet, you can put your comments in the chat. So if you use the chat, what do you know about Agile? What kind of things do you know about it? You know, words of stuff, Scrum, whatever it is. What do you know about Agile? So as I'm sorting the whiteboard out for a couple of seconds, try and answer that question. Go for it.
They just want us to put sticky notes on there with a couple of notes.
Exactly, go for it. Yeah, exactly. Put a few post-it notes on the whiteboard or a few comments in the chat. Go for it. I'll give you 2 minutes whilst I am opening up the whiteboard for more people. Okay. Give you another 30 seconds. Good, I can now see, hopefully the whiteboard's open again now, so maybe if you try it again, I'll post the link one more time. Good, so let's take a look at what we've got then. From the chat, we've got things like Agile is the opposite to waterfall model. We will have Scrum Master, Scrum meetings. It's very useful when business doesn't know the requirements, or we'll touch on that. We can do development in each sprint, absolutely. We've got a bit of nothing, that's also okay. You're gonna learn more about it in this session. Squads, fleets, sprints, Kanban boards, iterative-based approach with feedback from stakeholders, fantastic. Iterative approach to project management, absolutely. Software development delivers value faster to customers, absolutely. And let me share the whiteboard again. And we'll have a look at the whiteboard. We've got some good things. Continuous incremental improvement, absolutely. Just let people in the whiteboard. Milosh is coming back. way to manage project by breaking it into several phases and increments, absolutely. Dividing process into small sub-processes, and it's a methodology, absolutely. So it's good. You already have a little bit of an idea of how it works, of what Agile is all about. So let me just very briefly give you a quick 2-second recap. So at the heart of Agile, everything is based off this kind of sprint cycle approach in Agile, different to Waterfall. Waterfall is a very kind of step-by-step based project management approach, which works brilliantly, especially in certain circumstances. You know, so there is nothing wrong with Waterfall. It works exceptionally well, especially when you're implementing even big IT systems like SAP for the first time. You kind of need to build it first and then roll it out. You know, you can't on something like that start small. So Waterfall is still very effective. However, the benefits of doing things in small sprints, in small iterative cycles, is when your customers don't really know what they want, or when you can develop a system or an application or a piece of robotics or intelligent analytics over time and significantly improve it over time, then you can give your customers something really quickly, really early. It may not be the finished product, may only be like 50 to 60% of what they really want at the end, but you give them something early and then you continue to develop it in very fast cycles. That way, you build something that is much, much closer to the customer's actual requirements, and you don't wait 2 years, you know, collect the requirements first, then 2 years later you give them something and they go, hey, but our requirements have changed in 2 years. Much closer to the customer. And you also develop something much, much faster in that situation. So especially for the kind of work that you're doing around RPA, robotics, automation, analytics, Agile approach is actually the perfect approach for it, because you can build solutions much more rapidly. And often, you know, I'm pretty sure if you're working in Morgan Stanley or Citibank and places like that, you will have come across the situation where actually your customers have no clue what they really want. They'll give you some very woolly, very bad description of requirements. And only through time do you actually drill in deeper and you find more and more actually what they want and how you can build robotic solutions better for them, right? So this is where Agile is the perfect approach. It goes in this cycle. You start with something like a product backlog. These are the requirements in a list, prioritized. So you have the big chunky priority items first, always on the priority list. You can manage that backlog with your customers. That role is usually given to a product owner, but often when you're doing RPA, you're both the product owner, you're the scrum master, you know, you're actually doing the build work itself. So often you have to take all of those roles in an agile environment when you're doing things like RPA. But the backlog is really important. It is a list of all the requirements that you're gathering over time. From that backlog, you select some of the time critical items that need to get built first. You put that into a plan, the sprint planning. Now, this can be a waterfall plan. Doesn't necessarily mean that you never have a waterfall plan, even in Agile, but there is a specific sprint cycle plan. And then from that sprint planning, you kind of work out what you need to do in that particular cycle or the second cycle coming afterwards. Then you put that into a sprint backlog, very specific for the days that you've got in your sprint cycle. You've got your backlog and you're going to work in that order down your backlog, your sprint backlog. Then you get to work. Then you start programming, you start building, you start working on the project, you start mapping the processes, whatever it is that's in your sprint backlog. You start the physical work. And every day, this is also a really important part of Agile, every day you have a quick meeting to say, hey, where are we? Have we done it yet? How are we progressing? How can we eliminate some of the things that are holding us back? the impediments, as they're often called in Agile. So we do the sprint execution. Usually that can be anything from 2 to 4 weeks. I have done sprint cycles that go for 2 months, but yeah, it's getting a bit not so good if it's a 2-month sprint cycle. Usually a 4-week sprint cycle is perfect for building stuff and really having something as an output that can be tested or looked at or given feedback. At the end of that cycle, then there's the sprint review, and that sprint review is with the customers or the product owners or the stakeholders to say, okay, this is what we've delivered. Has it met your requirements? Is it satisfactory? Yes, no, feedback. And then after you've done that sprint review, then we do a retrospective, which is actually more of a team review to look at what can we do better in the management of our sprint cycle. Can we manage our backlog better? Can we be better in planning? Now that we start to understand how fast we can actually build stuff, can we, rearrange how we build it, etc. So that's more a retrospective is more a look at how we are running the sprint cycle. So that's a very fast kind of recap on the sprint cycle. So we're going to try it out. We're going to try it out in Klaxoon. We've got a little simulation, a little business to work on. So welcome to the Chocolicious Chocolate Factory. So we've got a little process, a little build process. Now it is a very simple process. Basically, we're selecting a bunch of chocolates. We're putting them in the chocolate tray. We're building a chocolate box, with nice design on the chocolate box. So we put the inner tray into the chocolate box outer. And then when we've got a complete box of chocolates, we deliver it to the customer. It's a very simple workflow. And this could be representative of anything that you're building. You're taking a bunch of requirements, you're processing them somehow. Maybe you're building some robotics, you're doing the process maps, you're doing the analysis on the data, then you're designing your automated solution, then you're delivering the solution to your client, right? So a very simple process. Now, I'm going to deliver some instructions to some of you in just a moment, and then we're going to try the process out. So the first thing we have to do in the process, very simply, select 8 chocolates from our chocolate machine. Select the 8, put them in the tray. Once they're in the tray, then the chocolate packer can pick the tray of 8 chocolates up and put it in the chocolate box. Meanwhile, our chocolate box designers are drawing some nice designs on our chocolate box. Pretty packaging always sells more, right? So somebody is designing the boxes. Then once our chocolate box is complete, then that gets delivered to the customers. The customer will have a look at the box and decide whether they like the chocolate box or not, right? That's how customers work. So that's the simple process. So let me just go back to the Klaxoon and to Teams. Everybody in, right? So I need to select a few people to be processors. So let me just pull up a few pre-prepared emails. So who do we have? I know we have Frank on the call. So Frank, you're going to be a customer. I am emailing you the instructions to be the customer. So as I continue talking, please read the email with the instructions for the customer. Right, who else do we have? Vertica. Okay, we have Vertica. Vertica, you are going to be the chocolate selector. Okay, so you get the beautiful job of picking the very best, tastiest chocolate. So I'm sending you the instructions via email to be the chocolate selector. Who else do we have? Do we have Cameron on? Yes, Cameron. Good. Cameron, you are going to be the chocolate box designer. Very important job. So I'm sending you the instructions to be the chocolate box designer as we speak. So please read the instructions carefully. And then we have one more job as a customer. We have Soumya. I'm going to send, you're going to be the customer. That's most probably the best job, right? Oh, no, sorry, you're the chocolate packer. We already had a customer. Okay, that's the worst job, is the chocolate packer. But you get to pack the chocolates. So I'm going to send you the instructions for packing the chocolates. Right, so as our 4 operators, our 4 programmers, our chocolate programmers, are going to be reading their instructions. I'm going to explain to the rest of you what you have to do. So the rest of you are the Agile project team members. So you're going to be the Agile project team members. So when we run the chocolate process in just a moment, and I can see somebody's already filling up the chocolates, nice to get a head start. You have to keep an eye on the process. How is it working? Where do you see the issues in the process? What is the workflow of the process? You know, so keep an eye on analyzing the process as you go. Yes, because then any of the notes that you take during that, we're going to do a retrospective, and I'm going to ask one of you to lead the retrospective. And a retrospective is gathering information on, you know, what went well, what didn't go well, what can we improve for next time, right? So your analysis as you watch the process working from the operators is to take a few notes and prepare a bit for the first retrospective. And then think about classic RPA stuff. You need to understand the workflow. What is the workflow steps and therefore the product backlog? In other words, what are the things we have to do to build the product? So really also be thinking about and take a few notes on what is the product workflow and therefore what will be the product backlog, the things we have to do to build a good box of chocolates, right? Get the idea? Quick questions before we actually run the simulation. Any questions? I'm going through this very fast. Sorry about that. Hopefully you'll get the idea of how fast we have to go in these training sessions, but it's really good. So any questions before we try and actually make a box of chocolates?
So if you haven't mentioned our names, do we just analyze what's going on and just make notes on it?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So we've got the 4 operators. They're going to build the chocolate box. Everybody else, keep an eye on what's happening, make some notes. What's the workflow? Where are the issues that you can see happening? You know, what would be the product backlog? And then when we get into the retrospective and the building the product backlog, we'll use all of that good input that you're analyzing as we go. Good question.
Mark, Vartika here. I'm not able to see this thing on the board.
You're not able to get into the Klaxoon board?
No, I am in the board, but I can't see all these boxes and all. Yeah.
Okay, good. You can do a couple of things. Over on the right-hand side of the board, you'll see a bit of a grey box with a white box in the middle of it. You can move that around until you find in the middle the Chocolicious factory that we've got set up. Or you can literally, with a left click of the mouse button, you can drag the whiteboard around so that you find the so that you find
Yes. Yeah, got it.
You got it now?
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah, so we just create the workflow for this, right, Mark?
Exactly. Yes. So you can just take a few notes on the workflow so that we can really analyze how the process is working afterwards. Because that's, you know, the analysis is a really important part of Agile. Building stuff is obviously important. But the whole point of Agile, as was mentioned in one of the comments, was it is a continuous improvement approach as well. So every time you run a cycle, we really look to see how we can improve how we're building stuff. And so I know we only have 4 people physically making chocolates, but the analysis process from an Agile point of view is equally as important. And that's why we're going to focus on that a little bit, because that's where the learning is. Good. Okay, so are you ready to build boxes of chocolates. So those that of you have a role in building boxes of chocolates, just a word to the designer. So the designer, down on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side, you can select a bunch of drawing tools. So you can just say draw a little circle. You can even select a color like red, and on the box you can draw a little circle, for example, and that could be your design. It can be as simple as that. Now, the next thing just to mention, it is in your instructions, but I'll just mention it. When you go to pick up multiple objects, so we have like 8 chocolates in the chocolate box, you need to press the shift button and then click on the objects. So if I'm clicking on all of the chocolates, for example, I click on all 8 chocolates, and then I can move the chocolates as a group, right? So you have to press the shift button. Little secret so that we can be successful. Operators, are you all okay? You know what you're doing? Are you ready to run a 2-minute round and see how many chocolates with chocolate boxes we can deliver in 2 minutes? And you've already got a bit of a head start. Perfectly fine. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Go for it. Start moving those chocolates around. Select the chocolate boxes. Select the chocolates. Move the chocolates into the box. You've got some nicely designed boxes appearing. Pick the boxes up. Deliver them to the customers. Easy, eh? Absolutely easy. I'm hoping you can see my screen as well as I'm presenting. Go for it so I can see the inner boxes filling up nicely. Once the inner boxes are filled up, you can move them to the boxing workbench.
Mark, I'm not in the Classroom link, so do I just type it here, or how do I?
Aha. Let me give you the Klaxoon link again. Yeah, that would cause a problem. Okay. And I'm guessing you were doing the packing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Go. It should be again in the. Did that post? Don't think it did. Okay. Good. Well, as that's running, then I shall also help by moving a few of the chocolates over, so at least you've got chocolate to deliver.
I think it's working for. It's breaking for the normal production process now. I'll get into the agile one.
Good. Oh, time's up. So
it's asking me for a registration, Mark. But maybe I can just tell you the stuffs, and you can, if possible, move it on the.
That's okay. I think we're all right. We're at least going to let's at least deliver one chocolate box to the customer. Oh, we've lost the outer.
We've lost one chocolate as well.
There we go. Customer, you've got one chocolate box. Good. Okay, so we've done one round of making chocolate boxes. Very simple process. A few hiccups along the way. That's normal when you run any process. So far, the best any team has done on this is to deliver 12 chocolate boxes in 2 minutes. That's after an agile, retrospective and planning session. So let's see if we can get anywhere. I mean, that was a super team, and they'd had a bit of practice beforehand. But anyway, so we managed to deliver one chocolate box to our customers. hopefully everybody else was at least observing how the process, thinking about the workflow, what are the issues, what could be some of the challenges in the process. So what I'd all like you to do now is, if you move downwards a little bit, you'll see our Agile workboard. I'll jump you all to follow me. And we've got a few things in our Agile workboard. We've got a retrospective, we've got a backlog, and then we've got a bit of sprint planning. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. So let me pick on somebody in the team here. Who should we pick? Who should we pick? Who should we pick? Who should we pick? Milos, let's pick you. Let's pick you. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Milos, is to lead a retrospective. So we're going to take 5 minutes to run a retrospective, and what you're going to do is basically going to ask everybody, very much using this retrospective outline, to cover all of these topics. What we might start doing that we've not done so far, what do we keep doing, stop doing, more of, less of. Okay, so I'll give you 5 minutes on the board, but Milos, I'll let you lead the session as the retrospective scrum master, if you like, and get everybody to put their input then onto the retrospective board. So Milos, I'm handing over to you. I'm giving you 5 minutes on the board. Go for it.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm not sure what am I exactly supposed to do.
So what you want everybody to do is to collect their input on the retrospective board in terms of things that they've observed that we can improve, whether it be more of, less of, stop doing certain things, where are the issues, get them to put it on the board. And then you can organize that information on the board as well.
So I basically repeat just what you said, and when I get input, I start putting those inputs in there. Okay.
Exactly. And you can give an overview, a running commentary, however you want to run it. Go for it.
Okay, so everyone, could you please start writing and put in the boxes any of your suggestions that you have that we could make this process a little bit better if you think it could be a little bit better if it's not perfect already. So when you do, I will proceed to work with your inputs.
Good, go for it. Good instructions, go for it. And you can use the post-it notes to put stuff on there. Go for it.
Okay, I've just put mine in there.
Good, it's a good suggestion. Keep going. Everybody else, post away. That's it. Keep posting. Bring them on. There we go. We've got some good stuff coming in now. Okay, another 2 minutes. Bring your suggestions. If we don't have many more suggestions, maybe we'll just shorten the time a little bit. Good, some more stuff. Here we go. Now we're getting some good stuff in. That's it. Keep it coming. Okay, maybe I'll give it another 20 seconds time-wise, but you've got some good stuff to recap on there, Milos. Okay, another 10 seconds. Any last things? Throw them on the board. Okay, go for it. Milos, over to you to give a kind of summary of what you see on the board.
Well, for the short summary, we have a great suggestions, but it's interesting that we don't have some major suggestion what not to do. So anything that needs to be adjusted is like tinier adjustments, so not a big problem as the team suggests from these messages. So the box less off is empty, as I can see. We have just one thing that team said that we need to keep doing it. That's we managed to deliver quickly without much preparation. So the overall system works. We have the most suggestions for what needs to be new in the process. That's boxing workbench only allows for one box creating bottleneck. Requirement gathering need detail requirement. So that's actually a major suggestion for making process better. Merge inner tray and boxing workbench. And there are two things that team recognize as the major problems. So we should stop doing them. Need to have a backup person for each area, as we had issue with putting chocolate in the box, as the person responsible wasn't available. We are losing chocolates and inner box in the process while dragging the box. And more of the action that needs more attention is monitor how much time is spent on what. So that's the shortest I can.
Very good, good summary. So, you know, you've really literally just done, if you've never done Agile before, you've
Never.
just retrospective, right? And this is exactly how a retrospective works. You know, retrospective should be short. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, just as we did, really, to collect ideas on how things work, because you can gather some really good information in a very short period of time. You know, using a simple format like this, and there are many, many other formats for doing a retrospective. There's pages on the internet, you know, thousands of different ways of doing it. This is this very simple, very basic one that works very effectively. Now, the great thing about what we've just done as a retrospective, you can almost take any of these post-it notes that you've got on here and you can immediately take them to the backlog. And that's what we're going to do now. So we've got a few things around the backlog. So I'm going to give you 1 minute before we look at the retrospective that we're going to take into the backlog. And I know you are definitely understanding what a workflow is. So in the backlog box, what I want you to do very quickly, so all of you need to write post-it notes super fast, is what are the steps in our chocolate manufacturing process? So I'm going to give you 1 minute on the board. I want you all to very quickly throw post-it notes down there. What are the steps going from top to bottom of our chocolate manufacturing process? Go. 1 minute. As many post-it notes as you can get on there in what is our process. That's it. Go for it. What's the workflow? What are the steps? That's it. Keep going. Throw them on there. 40 seconds left. As many things as you can get on there. Got to get the full workflow on here. That's it. Keep going. Throw the post-it notes down. 10 seconds, more steps, get them on there. 2, 1. Excellent. Time's up. Fantastic. So let's have a quick look. We have our chocolate factory process. We have delivery of chocolate. Going to put that down near the bottom. We have design the box. Absolutely. Hand the box to the customer. Add that to, yeah, I'll put that at the end of the chocolate. Fill the chocolates in the box. Pack the chocolates. Select 8 chocolates, moving that up. Deliver to the customer again. Got that one down there. Excellent. Design the boxes. Absolutely. Transfer the box to the packing area. Yes, absolutely. Move chocolates to the box. Yeah, fill the chocolates in the box. Deliver the box to the customer. Excellent. So we've got some steps here. Oh, chocolate box, then design, then packing. So that's a good summary. Going to put the summary at the top. And now we have our backlog. Select 8 chocolates. Fill the chocolates in the box. Move the chocolates to the box. Package the chocolates. Transfer the box to the packing area. Design the box. And then we've got deliver to the customer, handing the box to the customer. So this is our backlog now. We know the steps that we need to do. And you've seen how fast we've actually done that from a very simple process. Observation of process can often speed up the determination of the requirements for the backlog. Because, I mean, I'm sure you will have come across some of this. You'll sit down with some of the operators of a particular process, the subject matter experts, and you'll go, how does the process work? Often, they won't have a very clear picture themselves on how the process works. So it can be as equally beneficial as just say, can I come and sit with you for half an hour and just see how you do it? And suddenly you'll get a much better explanation or a much better understanding of how the process works. So that's our backlog. Now we're going to add a bit to the sprint backlog. So there's a few suggestions here planning wise. Merge the inner tray and the boxing workbench. Requirement gathering, absolutely. We haven't done that. We've only got 1 person allowed, so we can add people to the workbench. We're losing a few chocolates, so maybe we need a solution for that. And let's just take monitor for now. So the good thing about this is now we can look at our sprint planning. And I'm doing this relatively quickly, but this is something you can practice. You've seen actually how fast we built up our backlog. It shouldn't take very long to build up an initial backlog. Then you can start prioritizing that backlog. You can put your retrospective actions in the backlog. And this is how then sprint planning works very quickly. You can take we're going to do mini sprints within a sprint and within a cycle. But my first sprint, what I might want to do is use that sprint just to improve how I'm going to set things up. So I might do the first thing in that might actually be I want to check on requirements. All right, that's what I'm going to do in the first, and as an output of that, I want a list of requirements. I might add monitoring to my process. So how do I do that? Maybe it's a stopwatch, maybe it's a bit of data analytics that just traces the process, how the process works. I might want to add a couple of people to the process. So that's my what I'd call my preparation sprint. Yeah. And then what I can nicely do is then take, it's going to take a few of these, design box, didn't work. Then into my first round of build sprint planning. And that's how sprint planning works. Again, it doesn't have to be very complicated. Any quick questions before we do a second round of building chocolates and then we're done for this session? Get the idea, get the sense, get the feeling of how the retrospective, the backlog, and then the sprint planning all fits very nicely together and should be quite smooth.
Yep. And the review?
Aha, the review, good question. So the review then would be with the customer. And actually, very nicely, you identified as one of the key things we should do is go and get the requirements. So we should do that, actually. And we'll save that. We have another training session coming up on voice of the customer. And we'll dive into that particular question around how do you do that review with your customer? How do you really get down to what are the requirements? What are the measurable requirements from them? So great that you asked that question, so we didn't lose sight of that step in the sprint cycle itself. Thank you very much. Right, shall we have a go in the last couple of minutes on our chocolate manufacture then? So this time, because you highlighted it in the planning, you can have as many people as you want doing the box generation, decoration, and the packing. You've seen how it works. It's relatively simple. Let's go for it. Let's see how many boxes of chocolates we can create and deliver to the customer in 2 minutes. Are you all ready for this? So we had the original people doing the chocolate build, but now we're going to add people, so you can just go for it. What I would like to do, though, is take at least 2 people to measure stuff. So Azim, can I ask you to kind of try and measure stuff? Just, I mean, you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it took 6 seconds for somebody to move a box. So Azim, if you could measure the initial chocolate selection to putting it in the box. That's the finished design box. And then Bhavya, if I could ask you then to kind of just quickly measure how long it's taking to design a box and then deliver the box to the customer. Did you do that? Good. Then let's go for it. Are you ready? I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Let's start building as many boxes of chocolates as physically possible. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, start building chocolates. Go for it. Let's see how wonderfully efficient our Chocolicious factory can be. See, I can see people are already packing chocolates. Anybody designing boxes? That's it, nice. Anybody packing chocolates into the beautifully designed boxes? Use the shift and click button to pick up all the chocolates. It's looking good. So 1 minute left. Let's see if we can get a couple of these chocolates delivered. There are plenty of inner trays waiting to go into a box. That's it. Oh, good, good. Move it over. Yes, quick. Fantastic. We've got one complete box. Now that box just needs to be delivered to the customer. Go for it. See if we can deliver the box to the customer. That's it. We've got the box there. It's just missing the chocolates. Oh, we're getting there. Excellent. Go for it. 30 seconds. Oh, it's almost complete. We've lost the chocolate. Hold on. I get the chocolate over there. Yes. Go for it. Next box of chocolates. Can we get one more box of chocolates in really quick? Go for it. It's designed. We just need it carried over there. Go for it. We've almost got a second box of chocolates. Go, throw it in, throw it in. That's it. Transfer the box. Quick, quick, quick. Yes, the box is there. It's just missing the chocolates. 2 minutes up. Go for it. Finish off that box. Yes, we've got 2 boxes of chocolates in there. Very good. Very good. Very good. Well done. So thank you very much for that. We're just about out of time, but you can see already with the second round how things were starting to move quicker. You know, you had more people that were getting involved already, so that's one improvement you made. and step by step we're delivering. Now, the one part that we didn't really get to, as highlighted, is really then understanding, was the customer happy with those chocolates, or were they not happy with those chocolates? And we'll find that out in the next sessions when we start to dive into things like voice of the customer and how we drive those kind of topics forward as well. So I hope that was like a super fast and furious introduction into Agile, give you a little bit of taste, not just about the theory, but kind of how these things work in practice. So that with the theory material that you've got, and I'll send the PowerPoint presentation out after this session, I'll send the link to the recording so that you can watch it again, because we're a very fast session. I'll send the link to the 5-minute introduction session. So you've got all of that material that you can start applying in the development work and the projects that you're doing. And you know, the better the greater the practice, the better you'll become at running these things. So thank you very much for joining. Next time, in 2 weeks' time, we have effective communication. That's the basis then for things that will come afterwards, like voice of a customer, presentation skills, these kind of things, so that you can communicate better with your stakeholders, with your team, and drive better, more successful outcomes for your projects. So with that, super fast session today. Thank you very much for joining, getting involved. This will be how we kind of run the sessions going forward. They'll be hugely interactive. So I really appreciate you all jumping in and getting involved. Have the most fantastic rest of the day and have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, have a great week. Thanks very much. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone.